Season 2 of Alice in Borderland doesn't just open with chaos, it detonates it.
Within minutes, the calm of Shibuya is shredded as Arisu, Usagi, Kuina, and Chishiya
Realize they've survived the numbered games only to enter something far deadlier, the face cards. Forget riddles and clever puzzles. These aren't games you can outwit. These are boss battles, engineered to crush body, mind, and soul. Above the ghostly skyline, blimps loom, each dangling a giant playing cart like a taunt. Welcome back to hell. If you need a gut punch reminder of everything that went down before Season 3, here's the ride. The King of Spades turns Tokyo into a war zone. The welcome party? The King of Spades, less a player, more a human weapon of mass destruction. Decked out in tackle gear and loaded with military-grade firepower, he storms Tokyo like a one-man army. Bullets slice through the streets, grenades detonate, and players scatter like ants under a magnifying glass. His game isn't logic, it's annihilation. Within seconds, entire groups are mown down.
Arisu and Usagi barely survive, regrouping with Kuina and Chishiya.
But survival is only half the story here. The carnage rips open old wounds.
Arisu still carries the guilt of losing Karube and Shota.
Usagi fears losing anyone else she dares to love. Kuina continues to battle for identity in a world that keeps trying to erase it.
In Chishiya,
The smirking tactician who prides himself on emotional detachment begins to crack. King of Clubs, Kiyuma's deadly dance party. The first real face-off comes against Kiyuma, the King of Clubs. He's charismatic, naked, literally, and terrifyingly sharp. His game, Osmosis, sounds like a middle school gym exercise. Rack up points by tagging pulls or stealing them from rivals. But in practice, it's a blood-soaked, sweat-drenched war of attrition.
Arisu, Usagi, Kuina, Niragi, and newcomer Tata square off against Kiyuma's flawless crew.
The battle tests not just strength, but teamwork, loyalty, and sacrifice. Niragi's ego nearly sinks the team, forcing Arisu into constant damage control. But the real heartbreaker is Tata, the quiet mechanic who sacrifices himself by crushing his own hand to save the team. His selflessness secures victory, but at a devastating cost. Kiyuma, ever the rock star, dies on his own terms after Arisu's handshake trick. For Arisu, the guilt is unbearable. Every win tastes like ashes when it's bought with the blood of his friends. Chishiya's mind game in the prison of lies.
While Arisu bleeds on the battlefield, Chishiya takes center stage in the Jack of Hearts game, Solitary Confinement.
Locked in a prison, players must guess the suit of the card strapped to their collars. Get it wrong, and your collar detonates. The only way to survive? Rely on others to tell you the truth, which makes betrayal inevitable.
The beauty of this game lies in its psychological warfare, and Chishiya thrives in it.
Cool, calculating, he navigates lies, manipulations, and paranoia, unmasking the jack hidden among them. But the cracks show. His victories are less about logic now, more about trust and instinct. For a man who has always claimed to feel nothing, it's the first hint he might actually care. The King of Spades showdown. The King of Spades doesn't fade into the background. He stalks the survivors like a slasher villain. His battlefield is Tokyo itself. Every street corner a sniper nest, every rooftop a trap.
enter Aguni.
The former beach leader, scarred and guilt-ridden, crawling back from his past sins. Alongside him is Heya, a sharpshooter with a prosthetic leg, and the ferocity of a warrior who refuses to be underestimated. Together with Arisu and Usagi, they hatch a desperate plan: lure the king into a gauntlet of explosives and choke points. The final confrontation is carnage. Flames engulf buildings, bullets tear flesh, and survival feels like a miracle.
In the end, Aguni sacrifices himself in a fiery tackle,
Taking the kin down with him. It's a victory, yes, but one drenched in grief. The battlefield was less like triumph and more like a graveyard.
Niragi versus Chishiya, the bullet twist.
Just when the dust seems to settle, Niragi, the series' chaotic wildcard, decides to stir the pot. Unhinged, burned, and grinning like the devil,
He confronts Chishiya in a brutal showdown.
the standoff escalates until Niragi fires at Usagi, and then the unthinkable.
Chishiya, the man who insists he cares for no one, dives into the line of fire.
He takes 2 bullets to the chest, collapsing in a shocking twist. Fans who paid him as an untouchable chess master were left reeling.
Because beneath the smirk,
He finally proved he had something worth protecting.
Queen of Hearts, Mira's Croquet of Madness. Season 2 saves its most mind-shredding game for last.
Mira, the Queen of Hearts, challenges Arisu to croquet. Sounds absurd after all that bloodshed, but this is no picnic match. Mira's real weapon is psychological warfare. She unravels Arisu's psyche, whispering that Borderland isn't real, that he's in a hospital imagining it all to cope with his friends' deaths. Piece by piece, she dismantles him, making surrender feel like mercy. And then, Usagi slices her on wrist, grounding Arisu in reality. The sight of her bleeding drags him out of Mira's illusion. Fueled by her sacrifice, he resists, shattering Mira's control. The queen loses, obliterated by the sky laser. It's not just a win, it's Arisu's rebirth, a refusal to let grief define him. The truth of Borderland. With the face cards defeated, the survivors are given a chilling choice: remain as Borderland citizens or return to reality. But here's the twist. Borderland isn't another dimension. It's limbo. A meteorite struck Tokyo, killing thousands instantly. The players weren't abducted, they were the clinically dead, trapped between life and death, forced through sadistic trials to earn another shot at living. Arisu wakes up in a hospital, his heart restarted. Usagi lives. Kuina, An, Aguni, Heya, Chishiya, Niragi, scarred, battered, but breathing, yet none of them remember Borderland. The friendships, the sacrifices, the betrayals, all erased. But destiny doesn't vanish so easily. When Arisu and Usagi lock eyes by a vending machine, there's a spark, a flicker of something they can't explain. The Joker's shadow. Just as the dust seems to settle, the final shot flips the deck. The wind scatters a table of playing cards, leaving only one, the Joker, silent, ominous, smirking. It's a reminder that Borderland's story isn't done. Season 3 isn't just teased, it's promised. And with the Joker in play, expect the rules to shatter and the chaos to deepen. Alice in Borderland Season 2 isn't just survival horror, it's a meditation on guilt, identity, and the cost of life. And so here's the ultimate question. Would you take citizenship in Borderland and wield godlike power, or gamble it all on a return to the fragile, painful, but real world? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to First Curiosity for more recaps. With the Joker waiting in the wings, one thing is certain: the game isn't over, not by a long shot.